Hello there and welcome back to my channel, or if this is the first video of mine you are seeing, then welcome. Makeup products that work for me every single day. I need makeup products like this now more than ever. Just to make a long story short, I have a parent who went from being completely independent and healthy to now being unable to walk and in need of full-time care. So there are days where I don't know what my day is going to look like. I want to be prepared, and the last thing I need is makeup products that are just fussy, that don't work for me, that do things that I just don't need them to do. So let's talk about the makeup products that definitely help me out. There's some top tier products here. The first one is from MPH Beauty. This is the La Skin Foundation in Fair 10G. This is my perfect everyday foundation. I love this stuff so very much. I'm so happy that I tried it. I've had this in my collection for a while now. I'm not sure exactly when it released. I'm not sure, but I'm so glad that I have this in my collection now. I love it so very much. It has replaced all my other favorites as far as foundations, even skin tints included. This has just replaced it. And what I love, and hopefully you can see, it's very runny. It's a very serum-y foundation. It is very, very lightweight. It feels like I'm not wearing anything on the skin. It's just perfect for everything that I need on a day-to-day basis. I know it's going to feel nice and hydrated on my skin all day long. This is the MPH foundation brush. You definitely don't need the brush, but I do like to use it when I use her foundation. I do think it's a nice brush, but you don't need the brush, of course. I mean, you don't need the makeup either. If you have makeup products that already work for you, that give you everything you need, then you are all good, you are all set. I just want to talk about the products that have definitely come to the rescue for me a lot more than ever lately, and this foundation is one of them for sure. I want to still apply makeup every single day. I love makeup. I love trying it out. I love testing new makeup out. But there are days where I want to go back immediately to my tried and trues that I know are going to work for me, that I know are going to look really beautiful all day long, that are just going to make my skin feel nice and just hydrated. You know, at the end of the day, I don't want anything to look, weird, or something faded oddly on my face, or something just looks off. I don't know. I don't want to deal with that, especially not right now. I don't really want to fuss with makeup. I don't want to have to work extra hard to make products work for me. I want something that when I apply it, I want it to look good. And this foundation is so, so lovely. I just adore it so very much. It's just become my top favorite. And I just work with a very light layer of it, but it is very thin, which is what I'm looking for. I'm not somebody who likes full coverage or even matte skin. I like to mention that in case anybody comes upon this video and they've never watched a video of mine before. I'm just more into the very glowy, lightweight, very, I guess you can say, kind of skincare focused makeup style a little bit more, where the products just have that nice hydration that just make your skin feel just like you are applying like another layer of skincare. And see, this is just a very light layer. Now, yeah, I do still have some redness poking through because I'm wearing a very light layer of this foundation. I'm not wearing, full-on layers or anything like that, but I sometimes go back in with concealer and kind of fix certain areas that I feel like maybe some more redness is poking through, but I just wanted you to see this by itself. It just looks like a really nice thin layer of like glowy skincare with a little bit of a tint. That's what I'm really looking for, so this is like my perfect everyday foundation. Okay, next I want to mention two products here because I interchange between these two, and also I should say that I interchange between one of these and the foundation I just mentioned. So let's talk about that one first, and it is from Ilia. This is the Skin Blur Serum Concealer, and mine is in the shade 3W Chambray. This is a beautiful concealer. I will give you a little swatch here on the back of my hand so you can kind of see the texture of it and see it's another kind of glowy, very much like that kind of skincare focused style product. This is just beautiful on the skin. It blends in so effortlessly. It's like you're not even wearing anything. It's like a second skin almost type of feeling, I guess you can say. It's a perfect match. I have worn it as concealer, but also as foundation, and it works both ways. So this is something that sometimes I pair up with this foundation. Some days I wear this on its own and skip the foundation. It just kind of depends on every single day, but it deserves a shout out and I want to mention it. But another product that I really been loving because it cuts out 3 steps for me is the MPH Underpainting palette. Now this one is in light. She does have more shades now. I think there are 5 in total instead of 3. There is one that is lighter than this one. I think that one's called Fair. Honestly, with the undertones, I think this one is perfect for me, and I wouldn't need to go to the Fair option in the future, but this is what this looks like right here. I have quite some dips in some of these pans already, but we have like a corrector shade and then 2 concealer shades. Now she calls them highlights, but they're definitely like, you know, the concealer. And then she calls these 2 contours, but on me, these look more like bronzers because they have that warmth to them. This knocks out 3 steps for me. My corrector, my concealers, and my bronzers, and this is what I do reach for on even quicker days where I don't want an extra bronzer, I don't want an extra corrector, I don't want an extra concealer, I just want it all in one palette. This is it. And one thing that I like to mention about this palette versus some other face palettes I have, I love all 5 shades. I use all 5 shades. I know sometimes with face palettes there might be a shade in there that doesn't work for you, it's not quite right. This one, all 5 shades I use and I love, and this is another that it's very lightweight on the skin. You do light layers, that's what I like to do. Now she does have an underpainting brush with this, so I think, okay, I'll tell you what, let's use the Ilia one a little bit out here, and then we will use this palette for the under eyes and the bronzer. So that way I can show you both, but I probably would not do this on an everyday basis. I would probably use one or the other, but I mean, as far as the actual concealer shades, but you know what? Let's just add a little bit out here. I don't feel like I have too much redness on that side, so I might just kind of skip it and go from there. I don't want to add anything else. No, we'll just do that. We'll just add a little bit right there. And then I just take my finger, and then sometimes I'll rub it into the palm of my hand a little bit just to kind of further work that in. This way you can kind of see a little bit more. So since I'm talking about the product, you can kind of see it in action a little bit here. But I love this concealer. You can see it just blends right in. It's beautiful on the skin. That's why I wanted to give it a mention, because there are days where I wear it completely by itself that I don't have to wear a foundation or anything. If I don't want to, I can just wear this concealer. So at least you can kind of see that a little in action. So now let's go over to the underpainting palette, and I am going to be using her underpainting brush that goes with the palette. Like I said, you definitely don't need the brushes. I mean, you don't need the makeup either, but I do like to point it out. I like her brushes. I think they're nice, so I have them, but they're definitely not a necessity. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more here because we are going to go on the under eyes. I'm first going to start with the smaller side of this brush, and we're going to go into the corrector shade here. I really just love this palette. It does everything I could ever need in one, and I really just appreciate that some days where you just kind of have an all-in-one face palette that you actually enjoy every single shade. Now I'm just working with a very light layer of that because I am going to go into both of the concealer shades, so I just like to make sure I have a very, very soft light layer of this, just a little bit. It's not too much, it just adds a little bit of something. It's just a very nice hydrating kind of product. You probably could build it up to be a little bit more if you want to, but I work with nice light layers like I've mentioned. That's just my preference. And if I wasn't, you know, talking, I could do this makeup really, really quickly, but I want to explain to you why these products work for me, what I'm looking for, why they carry me through a day. No matter what is going to happen that day, this makeup's got me covered. So I'm going to take the same small side of that brush. I'm going to go into both of these shades right here. I just dip back and forth with these two. I don't ever really use them by themselves. I think that together they make a really nice match. So I'm always using them at the same time. I just picked up, like I said, a little bit of that, and I do love this small side of this brush because it gets exactly where I want that concealer to be. But you can buy brushes that are this small at all price points. You don't have to pay a high-end price for a brush like that. You can definitely find affordable options if you are looking for that kind of small brush to really pinpoint where you want your concealer or corrector. And I just feel like that's everything I need. I'm not looking for full coverage. As long as this covers to the level I'm comfortable with, that's what I'm looking for, and this does exactly that. It is perfect. This is why I have no interest in trying the Fair palette that she released. Before, the lightest one was this one. Now there is a palette lighter, but the undertones in that one look a little bit pink, I definitely don't have a pink undertone. I have much more of a warmer undertone, so this palette is perfect for me. Now, I know this palette is meant to be used for underpainting. I think I've tried underpainting before, but I like these products just the way I usually wear them. Applying my foundation first and then going with these products, but if you are someone that underpaints, I'm sure the palette is absolutely amazing for that. Now, I'm going to show you the two, I'm going to call them bronzers even though they are contours. Instead of going in with a separate bronzer, even though I have many cream bronzers, like individual cream bronzers that I love so very much, but remember, on a day-to-day basis, I'm not looking to add a bunch of products. I'm usually dipping into one thing if I can. So I'm going to take the little bit larger side of her underpainting brush. And I like to wear this little bit of a deeper shade on my forehead and then this shade as like almost like a bronzer. So we're first going to go into this one right here. And I'm going to pick that up with this brush. Now this is a very dense brush because it is meant for underpainting. It's not really meant to blend stuff out this way, but I find that it actually works decently for what I'm looking for. And like I said, the size kind of helps me pinpoint exactly where I want the product to go. It's a small brush and it's just easy to work with, and it blends out fine. I don't have any issues with it, but I know it's not really meant for this. It's meant for, you know, drawing like the lines, but it works perfectly for what I need. I do take that also on the lid and over the brow as well. You can see it's just like, here's nothing versus that. It's a beautiful tone. I find that it's just perfect for me for every single day. And there might be some days where I'm not even wearing bronzer or anything. I might just go in with a blush and call it a day. So, I mean, even though the products themselves stay the same, I stand by all of these that I'm mentioning, but some days, depending on the day, I might skip some steps. See, I think that's just a perfect tone. It's perfect. Now, I'm just going to take the same exact brush, and we're going to go into the shade. This one, if you can hopefully see, has a little bit more warmth to it than this shade. I like to take this one and work that like a bronzer. I love a nice bronzer. And there are, like I said, maybe if I might just skip and wear blush on its own that day. Or there might be a days where I'm just going to apply this and that's it. But see, another thing that I like about this brush is the size. It's a nice smaller size, so I feel like I can pinpoint exactly where I want the product. And I'm just tapping this in, but you can kind of see, hopefully, that that has a much warmer undertone than this one. They're both warm. They both have a warm undertone on me, but this one has a little bit more warmth to it than this one. Almost like a little bit of red in it, a little bit. I don't know if that's coming across on camera, but in person, it has a little bit more of that reddish undertone, which I really love because I've mentioned many times how much I love the Refi cream bronzer in the shade Dune, I believe. And that one is like a red undertone, and it's lovely. It is the perfect bronzer shade where I feel like some days I don't even have to go in with blush if I don't want to, because see, this looks like a nice little soft blush almost. This is perfect all on its own, and that's what I really like about this palette. It does 3 steps, or it could even do 4 steps if I want to wear this shade on its own as some blush. Then it can do 4 steps for me right then and there if I decide not to wear blush that day, just this shade. So that's what I love about this palette. It is actually one that I use all the shades in it. All of them work for me. All of them have a purpose. I feel like that's a good test of a face palette. I do like to take this on the eyelids as well because I don't really wear powder eyeshadow or anything. Normally I would do this kind of step with maybe powder eyeshadow from a palette or a single. It doesn't matter either way. But I have just been skipping eyeshadow palettes for the most part. I do really still love them, but I'm trying not to buy them, and unless I will make an exception for certain things. I've mentioned that before too, but for right now I'm trying to avoid eyeshadow palettes. They're just not really what I'm looking for, especially not on an everyday basis. I just want something I can toss on my lids and go. I am taking that a little bit in this area across the nose. Whatever's left, I'm not adding anything else to the brush. I think that just adds a little something kind of cute. And then you see, that's perfect right then and there. I could honestly stop there. I don't have to go in with a blush if I don't want to. I can just leave it be. But I am going to go into a blush because I want to talk about this next blush that I like on its own. I wear it on its own. I don't even have to wear bronzer on my face or anything. I like it just right by itself. And you have heard me mention this one so many times, but I love it so very much. This is from Iris and Romeo. This is their Ceramide Multi Balm. This one is in Mood Boost. Now, this one was sent to me in PR. I'm going to tell you right now, it does not matter. I would buy this myself. In fact, I did buy another shade of this, but this shade is the one that I go back to all the time. I'm going to twist this all the way down so you can see just how much of it I have used, which for me, this is impressive. Hopefully you can see kind of like, there's the product. Let me kind of, I have used so much of this. And this is impressive for me because I do have my fair share of blushes. I don't have a small blush collection by any means. So the fact that I've worked a cream blush down to that much really says something. I like to mention this. This has mango butter as one of the ingredients. You can definitely smell that. It is there. It is very much there. Now, throughout the day, no, I don't smell it. But when you're first opening this up, you're applying it, you do smell it. It's not a fragrance, just an ingredient, but I like to mention that in case, you know, if you don't have a Sephora near you, or they don't carry Iris and Romeo and you're blind buying this per se, I don't want anybody to be alarmed at the scent, because the first time I smelled it, I'm like, what in the world? Like, it took me off guard. But it's not unpleasant, but it's there. Let me show you a little bit of a swatch here. And this is like a very balmy, well, that's a terrible swatch. Let me actually look at it. Yeah, there we go. It is a very balmy, lightweight blush, and it is like a perfect pinky peach. It leans more on me in the warmth side, which I'm fine with. I like warmer undertones for myself because that's what works for me. This replaced my beloved Milani blush. If you've watched some of my videos in the past, you would have heard me mention how much I love the, I think it's the Rose Powder Blush in, oh my gosh, what was the name of it? Oh, I can't think of the name of it. Like, it was the lightest shade that you could buy in that range. I loved that blush so very much. However, the last time I wore it, it oxidized, or it did something weird. It turned the most unpleasant shade of orange, and not a pretty orange blush, because there are beautiful orange blushes. No, no, no. I don't know how to describe what this did. I don't know, and I haven't worn it since. I maybe should wear it again on its own and see if it does it again. This has replaced that one to me because this is actually a similar shade, just in cream form. So that makes me happy. And because I've been using the MPH brushes, I'll just use her blush brush as well. This is her cream blush brush. I also want to mention this one right here from Versed. This is the Perfector brush. I love this one also for both sides. I use the smaller side for powder and then this side for blush, no matter if it's a powder, cream, or liquid. This diffuses out blush really, really lovely. So I did want to give this brush a mention, and I'm about to use it in a second anyway for a little bit of powder, but I'm going to mention it here because it deserves it. But just because I've been using her other brushes, let's use her cream brush. And I'm just going to, instead of drawing it on the back of my hand, I'm just going to pick it up like this because it works this way too. I love this stuff so very much. I would buy this with my own money. I did actually end up buying a shade on my own, which I think that's a pretty shade as well. That one has a little bit more, I think, rosy. I don't remember what the I don't remember what the other shade is. And that one's pretty, but it just does not compare to this one. This one is that pretty little pinky peach that I love so very much. I love a pinky peachy blush. In fact, the majority of my collection is made up of pinky peachy blushes, or peachy pink. Maybe it's peachy pink. Yeah, peachy pink. I am just going to also go on the lid as well with that too. I mean, I just like to add all that in on the lid. And see, there you can see just the bronzer, and then with the blush. I just think it is such a beautiful, beautiful blush. I don't know what it is. I'm so happy that I got the opportunity to try it because, you know, I never had tried the brand prior to them sending me a few items in PR. I'm so happy that I tried it now because I love it so much. I would run out immediately and buy it myself. It's just so pretty. It's a blush that I know I can rely on It just goes with everything. I don't know. It's just something about it that is really pretty. It lives in my little everyday makeup drawer, my little acrylic drawers. I have them sitting right here. It lives in there full time. I never take this one out. I do rotate the other blushes, but this one is always in there, which it's probably not a good thing because then I want to reach for it over them. But hey, when I need a good blush that day, this is the one I want. It just blends really beautifully. It looks nice on the skin. It's nice. It's hydrating. It's that kind of soft, balmy kind of texture. It just feels nice on the skin. It doesn't look weird. It doesn't interfere with anything underneath it. It's just the perfect blush for me. Okay, I do like to add a little bit of powder in this area right here and the forehead. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but I want to mention this powder. I don't think I've found a powder that I quite love the way I love this one. And I am someone that I typically prefer a loose setting powder over a pressed. I like both, but there's something special about this one. This is from Makeup by Mario. This is the Surreal Skin Soft Blur Setting Powder. This one is in the shade Fair Pink. But one good thing about this powder is, if you can see right there, it's not actually pink. Now, for some people that might be a bad thing. For me, it's a good thing because pink powders don't always work for me. So I like that this is mostly translucent with just that hint of pink in it. So I'm going to take the Verse Perfector brush and we're going to take the smaller side right here. I love this side because it gets right into this area, so I really like it for that. So we are going to pick some up, and then I like to press it into the cap just to kind of work it into that brush, and then just tap off any excess. I'm going to make sure any creases are pressed out, and then press this right in on this under eye area. Not going on the lid because I am going in with some cream eyeshadow, but I just want this set right in here. And you can see the difference unset versus set. It just kind of perfects that area. I just have not found a powder that I love more than this one from Makeup by Mario. Now don't get me wrong, I really love the Tower 28, the pressed powder, but I would pick a loose powder over a pressed. I don't know why, I just find that I typically get along better with a loose setting powder. And there's just something really, really nice about this one that I don't know. I think it's just really lovely on the skin. It doesn't look too heavy. It does everything I need. It just kind of perfects the area without making anything look too dry. And then I'm going to take on the forehead and also in the brows a little bit. And then I can leave all my beautiful glow out here and have this nice and set and perfected in the areas that I want. And since we were just mentioning the brows, let's go ahead and do the brows. I'm going to give two options here because I like them both. I really do. One of them is newer to me, but I think it does a good job. The first one is my all-time favorite. This one will probably always outrank the other one, but they're both really good. This is from Iris and Romeo. This is the Brow Up Thickening Brow Balm, and this one is in the shade Brown Black. The packaging looks like this right here. And let me show you the wand. That is what that wand looks like. It's very small, really easy to kind of pinpoint exactly where you want this. This is my top favorite. However, one that I recently tried in a Sephora haul is from Rare Beauty. This is the Flexible Lifting Gel, I think is what the name of that says on the bottom. And this one's in the shade Deep Brown. So here is that packaging. And let me show you the wand on this one. This one's a little bit bigger, but I mean, it's still a nice size in my opinion. I like both of these. They both do exactly what I want. If you can see, I have a little bit of sparseness on the top. I like a one and done brow. I like a brow gel that's tinted that will actually fill that in and do what I need. I don't want to have to add an extra pencil in if I don't have to. It's not a big deal, but I'd rather avoid it. I want a one-step brow. Both of these do the job. They fill in my brows. They just make my brows look great. That's what I'm looking for. You have probably seen me apply the Iris and Romeo one the most because this one I've had in many videos. So let's do the Rare Beauty one. Let's do that one. I'm going to zoom you back in a little bit more so you can see here. Let's do this one because this one is newer to me. This one is just as good. Both of these are amazing. I like both of them. I think that honestly between the two, I think that I would want both of them in my collection at all times. And I'm working on trying to get an empty on a few other brow products, and when I do, these are going to be the only ones that I want. Okay. There we go. Just a nice, easy brow. And both of these are just really nice. I just wanted to give both of them a little shout out here because probably would honestly interchange between the two of them. Okay, and while I have you zoomed in, let's go into eyeshadow. It is absolutely no secret at this point, and I now have 6 shades of the Ilia Eye Stylish Shadow Sticks. I love them, and I want all of them. I don't have all of them just yet. I don't know how many I'm missing. I'm not sure how many there are in total of the shimmer versions. I'm not a big fan of the matte ones like this. The matte ones were a little too dry for me. I don't know. Maybe I should try one again. Maybe I just got a bad one. I don't know. I'm tempted to try another one just because of how much I love these. But regardless, these are my favorite. I love all of these very, very much. Now, if you asked me to pick only one, if I can only have one, it would probably be Opulent. And that's because on me, this is much more of that brightening kind of shade, but I love all of them. So what I like to do is I rotate between all of them on a daily basis. I like them on their own, and I like them as bases for other eyeshadows. So who do I want to use? Honestly, okay, I don't think I've used the shade Beam in a while. I think the other ones I've used recently, so let me use Beam. But what I'm going to do is show you a swatch of Opulent so you can kind of see. That's the one that, if I can only have one, that would be the one. That is Opulent. Oh, this is so pretty. It's so pretty. I love these so, so much. I'm so happy that I tried one initially. I think I bought Opulent and Beam. It might have been the last Sephora sale or the one before. I don't remember. But I'm so glad that I did. Now I'm going to swatch Beam. Now Beam and Opulent look very, very similar to each other, but Beam has more of a warmer undertone. I'm hoping you'll be able to pick that up in a swatch. I don't know if you will or not. See, like when you look at them like this, they look similar, but like when I turn my hand like that, this one is more warm than this, but when you look at them in light, they look very similar. But this has a little more warmth to it. I like both. I'm happy to have both. But if you're only wanting to buy one, then you might not want both. I also see where Ilia has eyeliners out. I want to try them. I have a cart, like a Sephora cart kind of with some product in that I want to try, but I'm waiting on a few new releases to come out before I place my order. So hopefully maybe within, I don't know, maybe a week or two, maybe I'll have some more new makeup to try out. We will see. Okay, I'm going to go in with Beam, right? I have Beam, right? Yeah, this one's Beam. And apply that like so, all on the beginning half of my lid. I don't really care so much about the outer half of my lid, simply because that's where the bronzer and the blush go, so it's still like I have something there. These just add a little something. I'm just going to lightly tap over that. You don't have to do that if you don't want to, but I just love them so much. Now, these do crease. They give me one crease where my actual like crease line is. They do crease in that area, but they don't all over my lid. They don't do any weird kind of cracking. I just like to mention that because some cream eyeshadows can look really, really bad. I find that on me, these work perfectly, but you know yourself and you know whether eyeshadow sticks work for you, because I have had some people tell me that eyeshadow sticks just don't work because they just come completely off their lids and or whatever the case may be. So you definitely know yourself if you think something like this will work for you or not, but you might could also use them as a base if you don't want to wear them on their own. That would help a little bit with them fading. Just add like a powder over the top, like a sparkly shadow or something, if you want to. That's kind of if you already bought one and you didn't want to return it. Okay, next up is mascara. I like several mascaras. Okay, at this point, I don't know if I really have a top favorite because I like a lot of them. You know, I love the Makeup by Mario ones. I love the ones from Refi. And the reason why I'm saying ones is because they come in brown and black. I do prefer a brown mascara anyway, even though they end up looking like a soft black on me, I still like the idea of them. So, you know, the Tower 28, the Cali Ray, I like a lot of mascaras. But the one I'm going to use today is from Merit. This is the Clean Lash Mascara, and this one is in the shade brown. They just recently released this in a brown. And this is, first and foremost, here's what the wand looks like. This is a really dainty, really soft, fluttery, everyday lash. This is not going to be really beefy mascara. So if you're looking for a beefy mascara, this would not be for you. But if you like that really soft, everyday, fluttery kind of lash, you probably would really like this one. So I am just going to curl my lashes right quick and then apply this mascara, and then I'll come in closer so you can see it in just a second. Okay, so there's that mascara versus nothing. You can see it's just a really pretty soft lash. It does give me length, which if I'm going to pick between length and volume, I would personally rather have length because I want more length than volume. I don't know. I like a really long fluttery lash. So this one is right up my alley. It doesn't smudge, flake, it holds my curl, and it's easy to remove. The last thing is the lip. Now, the lip is something that I like to rotate different things around. It just kind of depends on the day. But one pencil that I absolutely do love is from MPH Beauty. This is the Overliner lip pencil, and this one is in the shade Cowgirl. I love this shade. It's like a perfect everyday kind of shade for me. I just really, really enjoy this one. I also really love the one from Merit in the shade Beverly Hills because that one is like my lip color exactly. So I'm reaching for several different lip products, but just for this video, why don't we go in with this? I'm going to do this first, and then I'll go in with a lip balm over the top. I have just applied it on my actual lip line and then added a little bit of it right there. Now for over the top, I switch it up here as well. I like to use lip glosses, lip balms, or lip oils. One that I really, really love is from Summer Fridays. I love the lip butter balms in general, and this one just happens to be in toasted marshmallow, which I believe they brought back and I think is permanent now. It just smells so good. It smells so good. We're just going to put this right over the top of that. Right here. So good. And there you have this completed makeup look using these products that they just work for me. I know that I can rely on them throughout the day to not give me a hard time. Now, of course, obviously the lip you'd have to reapply, but that's not a big deal. It's easy just to throw on a lip. But as far as the rest of the makeup, you know, some days you just don't want to worry about touching up anything, like whether it's powder, foundation, or whatever the case may be. Some days you just don't want to do that. I can rely on these products. I know that they're going to look very, very pretty all day long. I can rely on them. I don't have to fuss with them. That's what I'm looking for. Especially, there are just some days where this is what I need. This is what I need from my makeup. And these are the products that I turn to on those days. But I do hope that you enjoyed today's video. And if you did, I hope you will please consider leaving a like, a comment, or subscribing if you haven't already. And make sure you hit the bell icon so you are alerted to all my future uploads. And follow me on Instagram at jessicadeerly. All of these products will be listed and linked for you below, as well as in the YouTube shopping tag feature. And if you click through and purchase, I do earn a small commission. And if you choose to do so, thank you so much for supporting me and my channel. And I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!